Hey guys, Rena and Tikva here.
Today we're going to be talking about a chat that changed both of our lives.
Seriously, and it's not the Mommy Life Squad chat.
Just keep listening. Welcome to the Mommy Life Squad podcast, where we talk about
Everything women want to hear about,
which may get controversial,
but definitely inspirational, so stay tuned. Okay, all right, let's get started. So it happens to be that my husband has been talking about this chat forever, like for the last year. And in my mind, by default, I was thinking to myself, like, okay, very nice. It's so nice. I'm not going to even say what it is yet because I want to like make this like a juicy start for you guys. But in my mind, because my husband, Baruch Hashem, he's very holy. So I was just like, okay, yeah, it's another like shir to listen to or nothing, something like that. But
let me also add in, when Rena told me about this chat, I thought the same thing. I kept pushing it off.
Yeah.
And anyone I tell, by the way, I don't know why, anyone I tell about the chat, they kind of are like...
No, but then you force them and then they're like, whoa.
Yeah. Okay. But it's not like that. It's like you kind of have to like
push yourself to start. So my husband literally, he was like, Rena, just like join the chat. And if you don't like it, and I'm like, okay, first of all, I absolutely do not like chats. I really don't like chats. So I'm on very few chats to begin with. So to join another chat was like, ugh. Anyways, to make a long story short, there was like a day that I had a couple of months back that I was like so frustrated with something. And my husband was like, this is the chat, that I keep telling you about. Join it, whatever. And so finally I joined the chat, and I am not exaggerating when I say that it is 1,000,000% life-changing.
It changes your mindset. It changes the way you think. It relaxes me, at least.
Yeah.
It makes you just like...
surrender and know that you're not in control. Okay. So the name of the chat is Michael Safdie's Bitachon chat. And again, there's so many chats and there's so many shiurim on this topic. Emunah, bitachon, we hear about it all the time. Why is this any different, Tikva?
Okay, so I was actually thinking about that the other day. I'm like, why is this chat different? And why am I compelled to listen to this? You know how many chats I've joined in the past?
Yeah.
And like a lot of times it's sad, but like I don't open up the text, or I won't open up the thing to read it or listen to it.
Just
but
doesn't
this is
like resonate as much with you, right?
Right. I think it's also because we live in such a crazy world and there's so much constantly going on. Mm-hmm. And it's just so nice to have this reminder of bitachon, and everything is in Hashem's hands. So, and if you leave it all up to Hashem, it's all going to work out.
Right. So the first thing I wanted to say is that the way he delivers these classes is like nobody else. Like, I feel like he's next level.
I think it's like the New York accent.
He's New Yorkie, but he's also very pushy and strong.
Yeah.
Like, so the way he conveys his message is very like, you yo-yo head, or like, we're walking around like idiots. We're empty-headed. And
he's very
it's kind of like
straight
a wake-up
to the
call.
point, and it's a wake-up call.
It's harsh, but it's like a good harsh, because it's like, whoa, someone just like slapped me in the face, and now I'm waking up.
Yeah, even like to get a little personal this morning, I kind of felt like I felt out of it. I don't know what it was. Like, and I'm like, you know what? I wanted to listen to this bitachon chat to kind of just wake me up and be like,
it gives you a boost.
This is not in your hands. This is in Hashem's hands.
Right. So, and a lot of times we like, I mean, I've heard this so many times before, like we're not in control. And especially for someone like, who's like very type A, I'm very type A personality, like everything has to be done a certain way. And that kind of means that it is really hard for someone who has a very type A personality to go with the flow with kids and with, life not happening the way you want it. So I've always heard that, Hashem at the end of the day is in control. Obviously, we all know that from like when we're 4 years old, right? But when you internalize it and really believe it, then it takes on a whole new meaning for you.
Yeah.
So just to give an example.
Well, can we first talk about I sent this WhatsApp group, the WhatsApp link to a cousin of mine, a family member, and she actually reached out back to me and she said, "What is bitachon?" And then I thought about it, and I'm like, I listen to these speeches all the time. How do I literally translate bitachon? And then I called Rena. I'm like, Rena, what do I say? What should I tell her?
Michael Safdie, the person who gives this class, translates it as someone who is 100% reliant on Hashem. 100%. And that also means taking it to the next level, that we technically don't even need to do hishtadlut if we 100% rely on Hashem. But because our
Well,
generation
no,
is
no,
so
no, no.
low,
One
no,
minute,
I'll
wait.
tell, wait,
Okay,
hold on,
fine.
let me finish. Hold on, because our generation is on such a low madrega, and we're not malachim, we're not at that level to be 100% reliant on Hashem. Meaning, we should be at the level where we're sitting home and somehow we're going to be able to pay the bills. We don't have to go to work. But because we're not on that level, that's why we have to do hishtadlus. Do you understand?
Yeah, but he says this like even yesterday or 2 days ago. He actually came in and said he's not saying that with
Don't do
bitachon,
hishtadlus,
don't
right.
do hishtadlut.
Right.
That's 100% not what he's saying. He's saying you have to do your hishtadlut, but in the end of the day, there's a line that you have to understand. It's at a certain point, it's in Hashem's hands. You have to do your hishtadlus. There's no room for laziness. There's no room for being like, if it's meant to be, it's like, it's going to work out, but then
Right.
you don't even do anything to make that happen.
Right.
Nothing's going to happen. Like, you have to do your part.
Okay.
You have to do your hishtadlut. You can't just, because then you could just turn into a lazy person who doesn't do anything. And that's not what you want.
So we're talking about two different things. Let me tell you why. 2 weeks ago, a friend who I sent this recording to, one of his recordings, she messaged me. She's like, "Did you hear the one that he just posted?" And I knew what she was going to ask me, and she did. She asked me, "I don't understand. Like, why did Michael Safdie, why did the Chovot HaLevavot make it sound like putting hishtadlut is a negative thing?" And he did make it sound like that. I don't know if you heard this, like a few weeks ago. He made it sound like it's a negative thing, and really, it is. It's only there because we don't have.
Is the word. That's not the right word. Then it's putting it over. I think it's over.
No.
Over. It's hishtadlut. But what does hishtadlut mean? Is putting in your effort. This is what I understand hishtadlut as: is putting your effort in, putting your part in, and then trusting the rest into Hashem. Right. So, for example, you wanna even a business, right? Let's say you want to start a business, and Rena and I have had this ourselves, is we started an Amazon business. And we went and we did our hishtadlut, we bought inventory, we put it on Amazon, we learned everything there was to know.
We took courses.
Yeah. And then the rest were like, okay, we have to have bitachon and we have to have trust in Hashem.
True.
But when does it become an issue is when you start stressing about it and it becomes like the only thing you can think about. And at a certain point, I think it was something that I was really thinking about a lot. Yeah. Is like, why aren't we getting any sales? Yeah. Why is this not working out? Why is this? Why is that? And you're trying to micromanage and take control. And it's a control thing also. It's like trying to take control of the situation. That's when you have to be like bitachon. Like it's all in Hashem's hands and you have to trust in Hashem.
Right. So 100%. But that's the second part. The first part, if you want to back wheel just a bit, the first part is that really we shouldn't even need that. That's what she was asking me. She's like, do we really, like, why did he make it sound negative? He made it sound negative because we shouldn't even need that to begin with. But there's no point of even discussing that in my theory, because nobody's on that level today.
Right.
Like he was saying, like, even rabbis have to go to work. Even the holiest of the holiest know that they have to put in some sort of hishtadlut. So now we're up to the second part. Yes, we do have to do our hishtadlut, and then whatever comes from that, and
there's so many examples. There's so many different situations, not even business. And I think like something, and Michael Safdie actually just mentioned this. He's like, so a woman reached out and said, why do you keep referencing it to business? Can you do something else? And I think
but he said it applies.
He said it right. Then he's like, yeah, sure, it applies to everything. It
So
applies
like
to shidduchim.
Raising kids. It also applies to what's it called? What was the other thing? I forgot.
But he was saying with shidduchim, like once you do have bitachon, the Yeshua comes. Right? Someone who's been single for so long and it tries to find their shidduch for so long, and once they finally just like kind of let go and be like, Hashem, you are in control 100%, 100 million %, and you are in control and I have no control of this. That's when a lot of times they find their besheret.
Right. And refuah, that's what I was going to say. Oh. It also applies to refuah. So, but I was just going to also mention that I think this is really interesting because it's a very deep concept, because how do you internalize it? Like, at the end of the day, he said this, at the end of the day, we're not dealing with God straightforward. We know Hashem exists, but we don't see him, and we don't have any transactions with him that are physical. So right now we're dealing with humans. So how do we internalize that at the end of the day, it has nothing to do with how many hours we put into our business. It has nothing to do with, our kids, learning from us or whatever it is. Of course, tefillah helps and everything, and role modeling and all that. Those are all our hishtadlus. But like at the end of the day, Hashem chooses the outcome.
Yeah, and also this is something to think about, and I think maybe we could discuss this a little bit, is some people might say, okay, there's bitachon, and then there's also, what's my mazal? Like in life,
yeah.
right?
So I don't know if Ashkenazis believe in this. Is that like a Sephardi thing, maybe?
No, I think it really is. There's mazalos, and the certain time of year you're born, the certain time you're born.
Yeah.
Any time you're born changes your mazel. Yeah,
Right.
of course it's an Ashkenaz. Like I feel like Ashkenazim believe in this too.
I don't know. Do they?
Yeah.
Like, do they believe in like the horoscope and I don't know. I wonder. Tip and I took a class on this.
It was actually really interesting. So Rabbi Vasori, right?
Even the time of day you're born
changes your mazel.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't
so
know.
they
I don't
had like Sunday. If you're born on a Sunday, you have this. You have the mazel of leadership. If you're born on a Monday, it could be anger. It's good or bad. So it could be anger or very, very like relaxed and calm. It was very interesting. And depending on the time of day you're born.
Yeah, he talked about blood. Like you could be a murderer, you could be a shocha or something like that. Or like you can channel your murder nature to be a shocha.
Well, we could even throw this in
or
there.
Or a moel.
That's why it's so scary.
Yeah.
I mean, nowadays, you know how they like induce. And like inducing a woman who's pregnant, and they just induce very easily. And we...
That's why you have to ask a shaila.
Right. And I didn't know this until like this pregnancy. And I'm like, I have to ask a shaila for being induced. And I was induced for all three of my kids. And all for, I mean, maybe one of them wasn't like the best reason, but the other two for like good reasons. But it's like, when you think about that like,
you're changing the mazel.
You're changing the mazel of your baby.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy.
Yeah.
But going back to bitachon. So, for me, on a day-to-day basis, actually on an hourly basis, when I am trying to get something done or something I want to get done is not getting done, whatever it is, I always trace back to, well, Hashem just doesn't want it to happen. Or if someone spites you, if someone does something that hurts you in a way, yes, they are the what's the word? Not keli, is it? What's the word?
The
messenger.
Yeah.
They're the messenger, and that's another topic because they were the shaliach. They were the shaliach to do this wrongdoing to you. But at the end of the day, who was behind it? It was Hashem. Right. And so that's a wake-up call.
But also, this is something that like who was saying that? I feel like it was Rabbi Wallerstein. He mentioned something that, or I don't remember who it was. Maybe Rav Shlomo Farhi. But basically, a lot of times, like in high school and in seminary, they'll bring extreme examples, like a person who missed their flight and then the flight like crashes and it was 9/11 and because they missed their flight, like, they saved their life.
Yeah.
A lot of times we won't see the actual reasoning for why the bad thing had to happen.
Yeah.
So that's also a level of bitachon. It's just trusting that, like, okay, I may not see the reason why, but I have to know and I have to trust and I have to believe in Hashem. And the reason why this is not working out, this business is not working out, is not for me. Like, it's not meant, like, I'm not supposed to be doing this.
Right. Yeah. That's so crazy. And it happens to be that, like, I have so many personal examples of this, like, that I realize later on in life. One example I was thinking about was about 9 years ago when we first moved to LA. I wanted to, I was applying for this job. It was like a Title I job through LAUSD. And then I was telling a friend who was also trying to apply for the same job about this job. And in my mind, I already had my interview and I got the job. And it happened to be that she also got an interview in the same week and she got the job. And I was so confused because I was so sure that I got the job. And so I went back to the supervisor and I'm like, and he was very vague. But then I got presented with something way better than that. And of course, I didn't realize till a whole year later that this was all planned and staged by Hashem. And things like that happen, right? On a day-to-day basis.
Right.
I feel like, just with our kids, our spouses, just life happens. And we're always like, what just happened there?
And the more you believe, the more
you'll see the Yeshua.
And also you just become like a different person.
You're more tranquil.
You're more tranquil, more relaxed, more content with life. You're like, okay, it's not meant to be. I have no control in this, especially like like if you like some people like I have this personality, I have it in me. I kind of like to micromanage and like be in control of everything, and especially during, I feel like this happened during COVID, and also we had riots here in LA, a lot of riots, and I was checking the news constantly. I had this Citizen app on my phone.
Oh my God, I remember.
No, I really went through a crazy stage.
I
I went
remember.
through a stage that I actually was scared.
You were so scared.
I was so scared. And
like your husband bought guns and like
oh my
like
gosh,
you
we were
so...
all scared because listen, in LA, and I think New York is the same idea. Right. The police had no control, zero control, and I was just constantly checking the news, checking my balcony, checking.
And then you deleted the app.
One minute, wait. Yeah. So then it got to a point. My husband like sees me going like up this like craziness, ladder, and he's like, I put like water bottles by the front door to like block it to make sure no one could open it because I was so scared because they were also threatening. By the way, okay, I had a point. They were threatening that they were going to go to the Jewish people's houses at one point, and that's what their threat was. So then I got really scared. So I put water bottles in front of the door. My husband's like, no, go move those. Delete the app from your phone. This has gone far enough. This has gone way too far. You just have to trust and believe in Hashem, and it's all going to be fine. And then it kind of like woke up. It was like a slap. Like, oh my gosh.
Because you think you're in control by putting the water bottles there. And you're not.
I'm not in control. I was like, okay, I have to do this and this and this, checking the Citizen app all the time.
But don't you find that
feeling like I'm in control? But I was going crazy.
But don't you find that that's where the confusion is, where the hishtadlus is? Because maybe someone's hishtadlus is buying guns. Maybe someone's hishtadlus is locking the door. Maybe so, you know what I'm saying? Like,
so hishtadlus would be
for
locking
me, for
the door.
our house, it'd be locking the front door because our door is always open. But I think for everyone it means it translates differently, and you have to know at what point are you going psychotic? Are you going crazy? But it also, Michael Safdie says, "Haboteach b'Hashem chesed yisovavenu," that Hashem will do so much chesed for you if you rely on Him. And the biggest kavod that Hashem could get for Himself, the biggest kavod you can give Him, is to rely on Him. I think that says a lot, right? Yeah. Like, that's huge.
Yeah.
Just putting all your eggs in His back. Like, everything, don't worry, Hashem. Like, this is everything. You're in control. I'm not even thinking about it.
Well, even if we compare a mother to, like a parent to a child, and a lot of times we do that, we compare Hashem because we are Hashem's children, right? So if you're comparing a parent to a child, even think about us as parents. If our kid said to us, "Mommy, I have 100% faith in you and trust in you," that gives us such a good feeling as parents.
Yeah.
Right? If they're able to trust us. Imagine your teenager came over to you and, I don't know.
Yeah.
For camp. Mom, I just trust you 100% in choosing the decision.
Really now? What did you drink this morning? But he gave a really nice example that I want to mention here, only because I have a baby. He was saying, you bring a newborn home, right? And you put the baby in the bassinet and you go to sleep, and a few hours later you hear the baby crying.
A few minutes later.
Literally for me, it's a few minutes later. But you don't have the option. Let's say your husband's out of town. It's just you. Let's say. He didn't say this, but I'm just saying, like, let's say it's you. You don't have the option of just going back to sleep, right? Because this baby has needs. It has to be fed, it has to be changed, and it has to go back to sleep. So this baby can't cry it out. Yeah. They're so dependent on you.
They're 100% reliant on you.
Now, let's say your 5-year-old, your 7-year-old, your 15-year-old wakes up and starts crying or fetching in their bed. You can't technically ignore it. I mean, depending on which mom you ask, you can't technically, because that kid can take care of their own needs, right? At a normal age, obviously. So the baby stage, the newborn stage, is exactly compared to how we are supposed to be with Hashem. We have to be 100% dependent on Him, like we're newborns. I thought when he said that example, I was like, no way, that is
because
right?
Then think about it. When you're that newborn and you put yourself in that newborn stage, the parent has to.
Yeah.
They have to step in and they have to take care.
Exactly. That's why they say Yatomim and what's it called when a person loses their spouse?
Widow?
Almana and a yatom. Hashem has extra protection over them because they don't have that. So they don't have the, Right. So I think that's like huge. And now a lot of times I think, okay, we're babies. We're dependent on Hashem, and nobody else can help us except for Him. So why does it change my day-to-day life? Because I feel like, again, like being, I don't know, Tikva, you're also a little bit type A, right? You're like a little bit like that.
No, I like to control. Like, I like to have control.
Yeah.
That's something actually I feel like in the past few years since COVID, that's something like I kind of, I'm like, okay.
Like
it's not in my hands.
Right, letting go.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just knowing that it's going to be whatever it is it's going to be, but doesn't it feel like you're taking such a heavy weight off of you?
Yeah, 100%. I don't know about you, but I get so nervous when things are uncertain.
Right.
Like, I like to have certainty. Like, if you're going to, like, even if Shabbat guest, let's say, right?
Yeah.
If Shabbat guest doesn't tell, like, I don't know how to say it. Like, what's a good example?
Okay, I have an example, but I just think it's so silly because I for sure have better examples, and maybe we should include it next time when we actually think ahead of time. Basically, and I told you this my robe story. I think it's such a nice example because, like, whatever. Okay, here it is. Okay, so I know this sounds funny, but I've been looking for a Shabbos robe for the longest time. Like I nurse now, so I needed like a zipper one or a button one. I wanted something like nice and chic. I wanted something black, but not too black, and I wanted color. My husband likes like not when I wear black on Friday night, so. I want it to be comfortable. I want it to be long. I had a lot of requirements for my Shabbos robe. I was searching for like months for this Shabbos robe. I looked on every website, asked all my friends, went into stores, and then at some point I was like, this is like ridiculous. I'm spending so much time looking for Shabbos robes. I play this Michael Safdie Bitachon chat every single morning before I start my day with my tefillah. I daven, I have my coffee, I listen to this chat. And one morning as I was listening to this chat, he was like, if you're going crazy about something, if you're trying too hard for something, that means you're not even listening. That means you lost it. That means you don't have the bitachon. And I thought to myself, like, okay, I was going to spend another 20 minutes trying to find a Shabbos robe for the third month in a row. This is retarded already. I'm stopping. And I said, if Hashem wants me to get a Shabbos robe this week, I will get a Shabbos robe exactly how I want it. And that was it. I did not put any more hashtadlis into it. Okay, listen to this. I think this is really funny. Okay. That was Thursday morning that I listened to the chat. On Friday, my mom comes over for Shabbos. You know the story, do you?
I don't know. Just keep going. I don't remember.
Okay. My mom comes Friday for Shabbos, and she says, Rina, she just came back from Israel. She's like, Rina, I got you a ton of stuff from Israel. And she's like, unloading everything from her suitcase, and I'm like, mommy, I have to light the Shabbos candles, like, not now. And she was like, no, just look. And she starts to like take out snoods and undershirts and shells and skirts of nothing that I liked, and I was like, no, give it to the sisters, I don't want it. And she was like, no. And I'm like, mommy, I have to light. And she's like, hold on, I got you a Shabbos robe. And I backtrack, and I'm like, it can't be.
No way.
Literally, she handed me, but wait, it gets better. She handed me a black but with color, a comfortable, a long one, and a zipper in front, and it fit me like a glove. I could show it to you. I'm not kidding. Like, so perfect. Well, not like a
stay
glove.
Tuned
it's like
for
a,
the photo. I'm joking. Stay tuned for the photo. I'm joking.
Yeah, a sneeze glove. I should add. No, it's very nice. Exactly, literally to the T, exactly what I wanted. And that was the first time that I really said, like, I said it out loud because my Aliza was standing right next to me, and I said, Aliza, Hashem is just gonna find a Shabbos robe for me. And when I repeated it afterwards to her, I'm like, I looked at her. I looked at my sisters were here for Shabbos. My other daughter was here. I was laughing, and they were all laughing. They're like, oh my gosh, you just asked for it. It was crazy how Hashem just brought it to me the next day.
You just put it all in Hashem's hands, and Hashem delivered.
Yeah, but also because I was going crazy about it. And I was like, this is enough. Like, this is like enough.
Yeah.
But
it's also the control inside of us. It's like I need to find it. It's in my hand. Yes. It's in my hand. It's in my hand. And then we realize it's really not in our hands.
It's really not in our hands.
Anything, like even like something as mundane as shopping.
Right.
It's not in our hands.
Right.
Everything, if you like, just let go, and Hashem will help.
Let go and let God. Is that what they say? Let go and let God. Yeah. So anyway, that was our schmooze for today. I feel like there's so much more to talk about this. Perhaps we'll have a part 2 because then maybe I'll have some better stories.
Maybe when we're more, we're pros. When we're pros with bitachon.
Yeah, but I do feel like
I also do want to mention. They say in the times of Mashiach, everyone's going to have more bitachon, and it's going to be the topic of discussion everywhere. And isn't that interesting?
Really?
Yeah.
I did not hear that.
I just went to the night, like, what was that thing? The Yom Yun.
Oh.
They were talking about that. It was actually really interesting.
Oh, wow.
So then I'm like, wow, Michael Safdie's WhatsApp group is really like spreading. It's huge, by the way. It's a huge group. Yeah. It's like,
I think it's like 5 chats of like thousands and thousands of people.
Yes, yeah.
And
we're going to put the link to the chat
Great idea.
like on the notes on the bottom, the description. So feel free to check it out. This was not sponsored at all.
Yeah, no.
Even though we spoke a lot about it, it really has become a part of our lives, and we felt passionate about it.
Yeah.
And that's why we both wanted to talk about it.
Right.
And
By the way, he does communicate with his people. So like I've texted him in the past and he does respond. And he always says, I take no credit. He's really sourcing everything from the farm that he's
It's the Shari Bitachon, right?
And the Chovat HaLevavot. Yeah. He really sources everything, but it is a total game changer. Total game changer. It really, really changed my life. And actually this morning or yesterday, he was saying how he gets people messaging at him all the time saying how their lives are transformed. And I can totally say that it happened to me, and Tikva can say it happened to her.
Yeah.
But it's a daily thing. And
it's like it's so nice to have that daily reminder.
100%.
It really is. The
100%.
daily reminder, and it just resets you the whole day. And just start off with your coffee and your daily bitachon, and it really.
And last thing, by the way, my husband told me that you could actually pin. I didn't know this. You could pin one of your chats, or maybe,
on WhatsApp groups,
maybe multiple. Yeah, so I pin that so that never gets shuffled down. It's always at the top, and I'll never forget.
That's
so
cool.
Now it's pinned. Yeah, and I'm always listening.
That's good
to
to know.
Yes. All right. Until next time.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in to our Mommy Life Squad podcast.
And stay tuned for the next episode.